So I did this video recently sharing some of the equipment and gear that I use when I run, and that went over pretty good. So I thought today I'd do another sharing video, but more focused on how I run and what I do when I run. Welcome to the Ageless Runner. I'm Ralph. So one question that I get from time to time is what kind of intervals do I use? So I have a little story for you. I have a Galaxy S20 phone. I have this interval timer app called Interval Timer. Works great, easy to adjust. You can save different intervals. I really liked it. And then about, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, it didn't work right. I would be running, and pretty soon I realized it's not beeping. Why is it not beeping? I'd stop it and restart it. Just didn't work right. I tried other apps. I think it has to do with the software update on my Galaxy phone. They probably did an update to the phone software, and it hose something up with a sound. I don't know. I haven't been able to figure it out. So what I've had to do is use the interval timer on my Garmin. You probably can't see here very well, but it has an interval timer on it. Two things I don't like about it. One is the increments are only 15 seconds. So you can walk for 15 seconds or 30 seconds, can't walk for 20. The other thing is it's kind of several menu layers deep, adjusting it, so not something that you don't want to stop mid-run and change it. So over time I've been using one interval, and that's 90-second run and 15-second walk. I use it for short runs and long runs, and I've discovered that it works. So the 90-second run, 15-second walk is a 6-to-1 ratio, which I kind of like for short runs. I like those higher ratios. Of course, I'll run a little faster when I am running, so I like that. So that 6-to-1 ratio is a little high for my long runs. I normally didn't run that high. In the old days, I would have dialed that down, maybe run a minute or a minute and 10 seconds just to help conserve energy. But what I'll do today is one of two things. I'm starting to get a little tired. I'll just walk a little longer. I'll just go ahead and walk an extra 10 to 15 seconds. I'll still take that break every minute and 45 seconds. That's the 90 plus 15. But I'll walk a little longer, which automatically cuts down the run time. That works very good for me. The second thing I'll do, if you watched any of my videos, you know I also run by heart rate. I don't like to spend too much time on long runs in the anaerobic zone. That's different in short runs. Short runs, I want to get some anaerobic time. For long runs, I don't want to spend a lot of time. In fact, here's a screenshot of my last long run. You see I spent some time in the anaerobic, but most of it was in the aerobic zones. So what I'll do, if my heart rate gets up around 145, I'll start walking. Doesn't matter which cycle I'm in, where I'm at in the cycle, I'll start walking. Then when it comes down, I'll start running again, and I'll get back on using my timer. So I'm kind of always adjusting my run-walk cycle based on tiredness level, energy level, and heart rate. So that works for me, and that's why the fixed interval of 90-15 has worked okay for me. Now, a question I got recently was, how fast do I walk? Do I shuffle like, remember Artie Johnson in the Laugh-In? Do I shuffle like an old man, or do I, speed walk? Well, I don't do neither. I just kind of walk a normal rate. But we used to have this saying in my engineering department, "In God we trust, all others show data." So I went and got some data. I looked at my Garmin, looked at the last long run I did, and you can see a screenshot here, and tried to see if I could figure out how much slower do I walk than when I run. It's not a very good graph, but I would say I walk at least a minimum of 5 minutes per mile slower than when I run. So it's probably more than 5, it's probably more like 6. So for example, if I'm running a 12-minute mile when I run, I'm probably walking a 17 or 18 minute per mile pace. So that's a little idea of how I walk. I don't try to walk fast, I don't try to walk slow, I just kind of walk at a normal pace. Of course it varies. Late in the run you might be a little more tired, you probably walk a little slower than early in the run, but that's how I walk. And notice today I'm not carrying anything with me, no water, no gels. For short runs of say less than 40-45 minutes, I don't bring anything with me. But if I'm going to run more than 40 minutes, and certainly if I'm going to run more than an hour, I'll wear my running vest and bring water and gels with me. That's kind of my rule of thumb. I think my body can tolerate energy-wise and hydration-wise for less than 45 minutes, but over that, I'm not going to change it. I'll bring water and gels. So another thing I do, and I've learned it over the years, is my breathing. I tend to breathe in for 3 steps and out for 3 steps. And what that does, it gives you a different foot to start on when you do, say, your in-breath. And that can help with wear and tear on your body. You're not always doing the same repetitive thing every time you breathe. So 3 in, 3 out, and every time I check it, it's kind of automatic for me now. So 3 in, 3 out works well. Another thing I do when I run, this really doesn't have anything to do with run, but it has to do with safety of your skin. I always wear sunscreen. I typically wear SPF 50 mineral sunscreen, as recommended me by dermatologists, because I had skin cancer one time. So please remember your sunscreen, especially on a day like today where it's really sunny. You may look at some of my videos outside and say, is that a ghost or is that Ralph? And the SPF 50 is, it's not quite clown makeup, but I call it clown makeup. But please be safe, wear sunscreen when you go out in the sun. Now it's a little bit breezy today and I'm running around the neighborhood, so My direction changes all the time, so sometimes I have a headwind, sometimes I don't. But if I go out and run on a bike trail where it's kind of unidirectional, it's out and back, I try to start my run with the wind in my face. Now, we're start with a headwind and with a tailwind. That just makes so much sense. But if you don't think about it, you may just forget. Now, I'm kind of fortunate at the moment. I don't have any knee problems. For a while, in the early days of running, I had a little bit of patellar tendonitis, which is a soreness in the front of your kneecap. I actually wore you can get like a band to put around your knee that helps hold that muscle in place and makes it easier. But what I learned over time, once I started getting back to the gym, is doing leg extension. You know, that's an exercise where you like extend your leg with a weight on it. There's a machine to do that. That kind of solved it. So if you've got any type of patellar tendonitis, again, talk to your doctor before you do anything, but that really solved patellar tendonitis for me. And I have no more knee problems. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope some of these suggestions, you take them as suggestions. What I do may not work for you. I'm just sharing in the interest of being a sharing community on my channel here. But I hope you found a few things and learned a few things. If you like this video, please scroll down, hit that like icon. And if you're new here, I'd love to have you stick around. Please subscribe also. Thanks again and happy running.